Hello, friends. I want to speak about something that means a lot to me. Why philosophy and psychology should cooperate more. The reason I think that mostly is that psychology grew out of philosophy. It was one of its sub-branches before it became a branch in its own right, and therefore it is absolutely rooted in philosophy, as indeed are sociology and anthropology, but actually all the human sciences. But it isn't just that psychology is and therefore should be rooted in philosophy. It is much more importantly that if we are going to have a science of the human mind, we need to also bear in mind how those human beings have evolved, how they develop, and what their purpose for living is, and how they make sense of the world, what their ideologies are, what their morality is. And of course, this also links us back to the controversial subject of religion, which in essence is just one other form of ideology, one other form of belief system that tells human beings how they want to develop their minds, their bodies, their selves and their spirit, and what they want humanity to grow towards and how they want it to become for the centuries to come. Now, the study of the human mind and even of human relationships in its own right is obviously very important, but it isn't enough. Because if we focus just on that one aspect of human being, it's the same as if we focus just on medicine or on gymnastics. It's to focus just on one aspect of what it is to be human. And of course, I'm all for integrating all of this and for an awareness of how the body, the mind, and every other aspect of human being are all wound together, are all intricately connected, all come back to the same core, which is humanity. But they are all different aspects, and we have developed all these different scientific forms of investigation of all those different aspects. So, to know all about the chemistry of the human body, or to know all about neurology or neuroscience, is nowhere near enough. It is a good start. It is an important path. These are important ways in which we inform ourselves about what we are and what we're capable of being, how it works, and we analyze the system that we are and the systems that we are tied in with as well. But how can it be enough if by doing so we narrow our horizon, we bring our horizon closer and closer in, and we get caught up in this hermetic magic circle of the quasi-knowledge that we believe we have accumulated, and we think this dispenses us from having a discourse or an understanding about the further reaches of human nature, the outer limits, the explorations not just of the universe, not just of what exists beyond the earth, beyond the solar system, but how our minds reach beyond what they're capable of being today, how we reach towards other people in new ways, and how we want to form new sorts of societies, new ways of life, new ways of living, of being together, of being a self, of being responsible for ourselves, and using the limited amounts of freedom that being human afford us. And don't be fooled by the rhetoric of many who like to believe that we can reduce human beings to the essence of their biology, because it's quite clear that we have evolved many forms of culture, many forms of thinking, many different ways of being, many different systems of reflection, and many different beliefs, many different ideas to guide us, many different practices to sharpen us or weaken us, or give in to pain, give in to pleasure, give in to emotion, or restrict pain, pleasure, emotion, and the depth of our being by going for the surface exploration. Enough of all those extremes. It is time that philosophy comes back into play. Philosophy can very easily become abstract. It can very easily become argumentative and narrow-minded and self-obsessed. Psychology can become very narrow, very mental-based, very cognitively based. It can forget the broad picture. It can forget the rootedness of the person in everyday reality. This is why I believe that philosophy and psychology need to work hand in hand. That is why I went to get trained as a philosopher and as a psychologist, why I have worked all my life as a philosopher, a psychologist, and a psychotherapist, gathering these different strands of being human, and out of that forming a global, wider picture of what is possible for us, not just in the present, but in the future. And this kind of reflection, this kind of thoughtfulness about where we can go and where we want to go is long, long overdue, because this is relevant to all the political decisions that are being made, to all the personal decisions you make every day of your life, and to the way in which you choose to live with the other people around you. We're going to co-create the world as it will be a century or 2 centuries from now. Why are we not drawing on all this information we have gathered? Why are we not bringing it together and come to some good solutions, not based in one narrow faculty, but based in interdisciplinary thinking, which is rooted in reality and everyday living? I hope you will stand with me and help us to go in that direction. Thank you very much.